Hey, what's up? I'm Adam with Aerial Motion Photography, and in this video I'm going to be telling you guys how my Mini 2 lost connection, probably landed in the Pacific Ocean, never to be found again.
No, God! No, God, please!
And yes, that's with OcuSync 2.0. It's still lost connection, but I cannot blame the drone. I did make a few pretty big mistakes that created this problem. So it starts out with, I was in Morro Bay for Thanksgiving. My family and I, we drove in our RV from Southern California up to Oregon to visit family. And the first place that we stopped was Morro Bay, which is like Central California. And it's a beautiful place, and it's really famous for this iconic rock called Morro Rock. And it's not just a regular rock, like it's a gigantic rock formed like by volcanoes. I read on Google 23 million years ago, and this rock is 576 feet tall. So it's a really big rock. And as we're driving in the RV, getting ready to pull over, I've been looking out the window, and there's just an epic sunset, and I can't wait. First of all, I can't wait to get out of the RV because we've been driving all day, but mostly I can't wait to like take pictures of that sunset. So we pull in, and I just help my dad like back up. I'm like, okay, like stop, good. We're in the parking spot, and I just go straight to the beach to launch my drone and to try to get to the sunset before the sun goes down too much. And so I bring my Mini 2 with me. It's my favorite little drone, great for traveling, and I thought it'd be great for this trip. So I put it up in the air. Where I launched it, I was in kind of like a sheltered area, so I couldn't feel how windy it was. So I kind of just flew out to take pictures of the rock and of the sunset. I didn't change any of my settings, so I'm flying out there. They say like time flies when you're having fun, so I've been flying, I've been just getting some really cool footage, and I realized I'm at about 25, maybe 30% battery, and I turned to go bring it back home. And I was about 4,000 feet away and about 800 feet high. And that's when I first really realized how windy it was. I put it in sports mode, and I'm trying to fly back into the wind. And so it was offshore winds, which means it's blowing from the land towards the ocean. So I'm coming from the ocean towards the land. So it's right into the wind, and I have it in sports mode, and the drone is really struggling to make it back. And I would guess the wind was probably at about 25 to 30 miles an hour. And I guess it might be obvious to most people, but one thing that I kind of learned is that the higher you are, the windier it usually is. So if you want to bring your drone lower, the wind won't be as strong, and then that should help you have more like strength to bring it back. So I brought the drone down from about 800 feet to maybe about like 500 feet, I'm saying. And I'm still bringing it back, and I just see the battery gauge just draining, and I know there's like no way for me to be able to make it back with that amount of battery. I only had two options. One of them was not good. Option number one was just crash in the ocean, never see it again. Option number two was land it on the rock, go hike it tomorrow, and hopefully be able to find it. As I'm flying back, I'm still descending, and I'm trying to just get out of the wind to make sure I actually make it to the rock, because I don't really even know how the rock's shaped, if it's like a huge like base to it, or if it's just like a sheer cliff. So I'm just trying to bring it as close as I can, and it loses connection. And I don't know why that was so shocking to me. I mean, if you put a big object in between yourself and the drone, that's going to block the signal. But I thought with OcuSync 2, well, first of all, I wasn't really thinking, I was kind of panicking. Second of all, I've had great luck with OcuSync 2.0, so I wasn't too worried about the connection. But I lost connection, and I never seen the drone since. And I'm trying to stand up on something high and put the remote, trying to get all different angles for it to come back and signal, and it never does. So I'm like in panic mode thinking, okay, so I start looking through the settings, and I look, and it says like return to home, altitude set at 98 feet. And I'm just like come on.
You're a fool, Harry Potter.
The rock, remember, is 576 feet high. You should always change your return to home setting to be higher than the tallest object that will be in the way. So there's either two things that happen to it. Either it hovered over the ocean and then finally ran out of battery and landed in the water, or it tried to return to home and hit the rock. So the next day I woke up early and I went to go try to find it. I was with my family and it's pretty far away, and it's not like there's a parking lot where we can just park and like walk straight to it. When I start to get closer and closer, all you see is just rocks that are about like the same size as a drone. So they're all about like this big, and they're all different colors. They're like gray, tan, brown, light grays, dark grays, and all that's like camouflage because that's like the same color as the Mini 2. So I started to realize it's like a lost cause. The only thing I had to look for was my sticker on the front, and I realized I'm not going to be able to find it. I've had some really good luck finding things, but I knew this time wasn't going to work. And then also I didn't want to hold my family back on our trip because we needed to hit the road. So we had to leave my drone behind in Morro Bay. Very sad day because I wanted to have a drone for the rest of the trip because we're going to be going to some cool places. And also like I love the Mini 2, and I've made some cool videos about it. I made this good like first flight one if you're interested in it, and also like comparing some filters and stuff like that. So I was sad that we had to leave it behind. There's 3 major takeaways from this incident, and they would be to always check the wind conditions. There's apps that can tell you the wind, or just be more familiar with where you're taking off, and don't just try to rush and fly your drone. I was just trying to beat the sunset, and where I was standing I didn't feel any wind, and so that was mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 was flying, draining the battery too much for it to have enough power to come home. And then mistake number 3 was having the return to altitude setting too low. Those are the 3 things I learned. If you guys enjoyed this video or found it entertaining or educational, give it a big thumbs up. That means a lot to me. Consider subscribing down below, and then check those notifications so you'll be notified when I upload my newest videos. As always, my name's Adam. Fly safe, take care, peace.